so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful audience. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
Hey, welcome to 30 Something Podcast. We got another wonderful episode for you guys. Hopefully everybody's tuning in. Happy Juneteenth.
Hey.
Happy Juneteenth.
Yes.
Today, June 19th in 1865, Major General Gordon Granger came to Galveston, Texas to inform the reluctant community that President Abraham Lincoln 2 years earlier had freed the slaves and that everyone needs to comply with his directives. So we got a 2-year delay, but we are free and free indeed. And we still struggling and fighting for that freedom. But we're going to get there. I am your co-host, Drea. And we have Miss Farrell. And we have Miss Miko.
Hey.
And also we have our guest co-host, Jonathan.
Hey, y'all.
And we also have for our interview, she's joining us, is Miss Clarice Chris. Thank you for coming. Also, we want to thank Mr. J. Rose for the beat. It is still lovely. I love that song. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I really like that song.
I love that song. I listened to it at home when we first got it over and over and over again.
I remember you were like, I love this Black Tie Affair.
Look, that's how Cliff stand up.
Listen all day long. Oh, Cliff has pushed out some really wonderful people.
Yes, we have.
Including myself. Yes, including everybody here. Texas. So we're going to jump into what now? Right? So yesterday, I could not say this boy's name for anything. Rest in peace. It was XXXTentacion. Is that how you say it? XXTentacion. I'm sorry if I'm not saying his name correctly.
It's a very difficult name.
Yes. It is a difficult name, but he was in Miami at a motorcycle dealership, and he was leaving, and someone ran up to him while he was in his vehicle and shot him and killed him.
And it was a suspected robbery, right?
Yeah, they stole like his Louis Vuitton bag out of the car. But also they were saying that the person that did it, and this is just hearsay, but the person that did it was possibly like his baby mother or her ex-boyfriend or something like that. That could have done it. It's just, stuff that's on the internet.
Instagram a video of I don't know what his name is, but he was saying that he was the one that everybody was saying did it, so he wanted to come on the internet and let everybody know that he didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Sometimes they use that as a marketing tool to try to.
But my issue with the whole thing was prior to them pronouncing him dead, and then afterwards I saw the World Star Hip Hop had posted the video afterwards, which I found was even more disrespectful. The boy was in the car in decordicate posture where like his muscles had cramped up. He was obviously visibly dead in the car in the seatbelt, and there was all these people recording him with their cell phones.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Nobody was taking life-saving measures. Like nobody was trying to take him out of the car and like do CPR or try to stop the bleeding or anything like that.
Everybody was just recording.
Everybody like defaulted to
record.
They opened his car door
they
up
opened
and
the car
everything,
door and just turned into straight paparazzi. And
that's a society that we live in today.
And it's like
I want to get that on World Star before you do.
Right, and it's like the importance and the value of human life is just not there. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, it just dimmed my light yesterday. I was very upset about it. Surprisingly, I did not cry, but I was very upset about it. I just hate to see people not be human. And in that moment, it was just like people just weren't human. They weren't looking at him like he was a human, like he was somebody's son.
Showed any emotion, like somebody
and it's like
here and they're not alive.
Right.
No emotion, just
right. Like I don't care who it is. If I see somebody dead, I'm finna like wow out. It's like, oh my God, it's loss of life, and everybody's just like holding up their phones, like ooh ooh ooh.
Have you ever seen that show Black Mirror?
Yes,
I love that show. So there's an episode that actually talks about like how society is changing because of technology, and they take it so far. Like on that show, they take concepts of technology and kind of play them out to the worst of like humanity. And so in the particular episode, they actually take like mass murder and turn it into a game show. And so people, the object of it is for as many people to get the murders on, like, you know, on camera. And no one does anything to save the people who are being murdered. It's just make sure you get the footage.
But
of
we are
it
like
and get it
not
live.
far. We're not that far removed from that. Like we're not that far removed from that.
But they
And Lisa said that his mom found out he died on the internet. That is so messed up for your mom to find out.
That's the worst part.
And then people just recorded. You
Right.
know, it was just so sad to see. And it's like, seriously, like nobody wants to even try to do CPR. Like it didn't happen.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was really heartbreaking. But we got to do better, like as human beings. And let's just, you know, let's value life again. And if we could start there.
Start with your own first. Value
You know
it
where
first,
I think you know where I think it started back when the Taliban were cutting off people's heads and all that. That's
live.
when they started showing more.
That's when everybody
death
started to
online and all
lose that like
Right.
empathy.
Right.
And we've
care.
been so
Everybody wants to record it
desensitized
now.
to it. It's
See,
like
I never would watch
nothing.
those videos.
I never watched them either
Yeah.
because that was really stressful.
Like if
time
I
for
see,
me.
you know, like the Facebook Live where the person killed, I think they killed someone on Facebook Live.
That's
Like
happened
I can't
more
watch
than a few
it.
times.
Right.
First of all, I can't support. I can't give you my views to that. But
Who-
secondly,
why are
I
y'all
just
sharing
can't tune
it?
Right.
into that.
Right. And I'm like,
It's a
okay,
lot
you
to
see it,
watch.
but why are you sharing it?
That's a
Yeah.
lot to have to watch over and over and over again. We're desensitized for sure.
Right.
Because it's already on TV. So we
Yeah.
watch people die all day long on TV.
In the police shooting.
In the police shootings.
Video
and then in real
games.
life, now it's
Everywhere.
you get on Facebook and you just get the timeline is going with
What's
just
on there
videos
today?
and videos and videos of somebody, just whether you had to watch it physically happen or even when the young lady went missing in Chicago at the hotel and it became
I
like
was
this
thinking
whole,
about
like,
that. Yeah.
this whole
Everybody
thing.
trying to figure it
Mystery.
out.
It's like a
It's becoming
mystery
mystery
game.
game.
It was.
This is somebody's real life.
That's somebody's
was.
real life. That's somebody's whole baby that
In the
is now
freezer.
gone.
Right.
But that's what the internet is doing. Like,
Yeah.
like they
So-
said, how
Yeah,
technology.
and
is-
keys to the street online, like that's their whole MO.
Oh,
It's like they trying to
they pull
solve
up
crimes,
first and
right? And the
crime
guy,
solve.
what's his name? The guy that
But
runs
sometimes they
Smash the
find stuff.
Topic. Like I'm so scared that dude is gonna get like accidentally popped one day, like just
Lord,
trying to be on some
speak
social media stuff.
I haven't seen
So Smash the Topic
Yeah.
has a guy, and what he does is he has like a police radio, and so if somebody calls and says, "Hey, there's a shooting" or whatever, he runs to get there before the police gets
Oh,
there,
no.
and he's doing like all this footage, and it's like you don't even know what's going on. Like
yeah.
they got shooting, they shooting out here, and I'm like, I mean, it's funny and people watch it, but it's like it could be
He's
a very
doing reporting.
unfortunate.
Right.
He's doing a lot of good hood reporting. I ain't gonna lie.
And Key to the Streets too will find stuff out before other people, and then you'll see it on the news
Man,
later.
you
Be
know?
like, it was exactly
That's
who
what
Key
I
to the Streets said.
But he's always on the
got
right
our
side
own
of town.
police.
It's like
We
it
got
could be
our own
something in
hood
Mansfield, but like he's there in like
Right,
2
in
minutes.
5 minutes,
Quick.
I'm like, dang, you done went
Got a
all the way from
jetpack.
Corsicana.
I posted on
He
that
be
the other
speeding
day.
on the freeway. I'm like, dude,
I
you
said
need
you must have a flying car or something.
on God,
Look,
like on
To be a
baby.
detective.
I'm sure he getting some
Seriously.
type
He
of
misses
commercial
calling.
endorsement. If he not, I need you to get you commercial endorsements. Like you
Yeah,
need to get your
monetize it.
commercial ups because you would
I had
definitely
to
give
tell
the hood
some
folks
other
the news.
person that to
Listen.
monetize their act
I
on the
mean,
internet.
he is really reporting live from the streets immediately when people are getting hurt and harmed in the neighborhoods that we live in and grow up in that we don't even hear about on the news.
Yeah.
I get worried about him being so close to the scene of the crime because, you know, it's 2018. Cops
Yeah.
will kill you.
Well,
Right.
I'm more of like,
But they know him.
if I
holding
They
see
his cell
seem to
phone.
be
something,
familiar with him now.
I don't necessarily want those people to know that I saw or that I peeped or that I, you know, put two and two together because now
don't
you
know,
become,
Oh, yeah, now the hood.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
a
become part
tenant.
of the crime.
I don't care. I am a snitch. Don't do nothing in front of me that you can't do twice. Don't say nothing to me that you can't
Singing like
say
the
twice.
choir.
Because if you out here committing crimes, if you steal from somebody, you gonna steal from me too. I'm telling. Nope.
Straight snitch.
No, sorry.
Straight snitch.
I don't do no crimes
Play
because
the
I'm
game,
not
but don't
out
let
here
me see it.
robbing and stealing nobody. We all got bills, and if I'm not robbing and stealing nobody and stealing from nobody, then you can't do it either. So I'm telling.
Well,
But,
I ain't saying nothing and I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, nothing. My name Bennett and I am not in it.
Part.
But also, just to let's get away from that. It's a little bit morbid. We're gonna slide into this bit of greatness. The Carters
out.
Dropped an album.
Oh, yes, they did.
Everything is
Album.
love.
It is all.
And gave me and serves me my entire life.
The album I haven't even listened to.
Oh my gosh.
I
Wait,
heard
so
a few
And then they
songs.
dropped a whole new bonus track today on
Yeah.
Tidal.
I've been
if
so
you're
stressed
tired.
all week.
I've been
Salute.
I have Tidal. I'll be
You
there
are
soon.
loyal.
I'll be
You have to
there
hear it in the car.
soon. Yeah.
So I was messaging Jonathan. We was talking, and I was like, we were talking about the video, with Ape Shit. The
Right.
video, I was like, oh my gosh, the video, and I was like, it's an
yeah,
album.
I
I'm
did
like,
watch
it's
the
an
video.
album.
The video
And
is
like
dope.
while we were talking, it's like boom, the album dropped on
Right.
time. I was like, I got the album.
I had just posted. I said that fire is about to
I turned into
drop.
Elmo. Like,
Oh yes, yes.
you just look like Elmo.
Wait, so does that mean you're going to the concert?
Yes, but my
Okay.
ticket is purchased.
Right.
I'm going. I'm going to Houston.
Already?
Yes. Already. I'm talking about as soon as. Listen, this who gave you the Beehive code. Do you
Hey.
understand?
I'm the co-president of the Beehive.
No. I
No,
was
the
ready.
tickets-
Where was y'all at when they dropped the tickets and they had?
We
like,
was
the
all
express?
online
We was all on like, the
Right.
team call. Like we got to get this together. Who I need to Venmo.
I'm gonna tell you, I thought I was a diehard fan because I've been to like 6 concerts, but I was like, why would I want to go see Jay-Z and Beyonce again?
Because
And then they dropped the album.
But then a lot of people have been complaining about the concert, saying it's the same set. as
That's
last
because
year.
they're overseas, you
They
know,
were
they hadn't
doing the
dropped it
same
yet.
songs as they did before. And I was talking to my husband. I was like, I wonder if they kind of had this on the, in the back. Like if the concert doesn't go over well, then what we're gonna do is drop the album on them, then start singing all the new songs. You know what I'm saying? You
I
gotta
think
have
they already
backup
had
I think they
plans.
had
Album
Yeah,
was
they-
ready.
Because
the
they probably
videos
was
and
probably
They're
just
gonna bring the new
perfecting it
music
and
out and
everything.
everything or whatever. I knew they was gonna do something. I
That
knew they
video
weren't gonna let
was so
the internet
ignorant.
talk about them
You don't
and
go
not
film a video
do nothing big.
in front of the Mona Lisa and do extra black things like
Right.
braiding and greasing
Listen,
scalps
listen.
without fully being prepared for how you finna roll that out.
Exactly.
I feel like their whole lives are probably planned out like 5 years in advance.
Listen,
Yeah,
But did y'all hear the negativity though, or was I the only person?
No,
that heard
I
the
mean
negativity?
it's there, but
About
I
the
just I be
concert.
so
Oh, I
like
didn't
deaf
hear
and dumb to it. Like I'm like, oh no,
That got nothing to do with what she gonna do when
That's
she
the
get
people
back.
that
There's still people who say she can't
gonna
sing.
blow my mind, and I'm so excited to see it. Like I'm not a
How much
Beehiver
were your
because I
tickets?
feel
I
like
am.
they're insane. So he gave me his Beehive code.
But I am. But
what
I'm
does
not
that
one of the
so the
crazy
Beehive
ones.
code you can get them for pre-sale.
Oh,
When they
okay.
went get that's like got the pre-sale tickets.
Yeah.
And so they were like what 170,
Something around
Yeah.
there.
170 a
170
ticket.
something.
But you know,
Yeah.
online they'll tell you it's $5,000
Right.
and everybody's spending their
Right, but
I
wait.
know I paid
Listen.
$400 last time.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. After I saw them resale prices, I thought about selling them tickets. I was
Right.
like, I called my best friend. I was like, best friend, what if we don't go?
we come up.
Flip that 175 into about a stack right now. The way they out
we
here.
flipped
I'm
it.
saying we gonna
Bring
get
it
red
back.
bottoms and go to the after party. Like, how about we just do that?
Jay-Z told us.
Right.
Make
I
right.
always,
Yes.
in my
You can
whole
flip the tickets
life,
and get a whole box.
sneak
Yeah.
down to the front row. I
you
never
have?
pay for those four. I always sneak down
You
there.
always find a way down
Yes, you can't tell me that's not my seat. Move out the way.
You know what? For the formation tour,
I'm gonna take
my
that
friend
with me.
had some empty seats next to her.
I just
and
go stand by the stage.
I was probably on the like 10th row, but she was on the like 3rd or 4th row. And it was
You just
like
went on
5
the
empty
slid up
seats
there?
next.
Yeah.
She was
Y'all
like,
be
"Come up here."
close.
Might
You know,
as
it was
well.
somebody. You know, it's always that one person by
Right.
them front rows. Where your ticket? She turned her back. I said, "Let me get on up here."
Right.
She ain't gonna remember at all.
Just do a real stank face, like don't talk to me.
Right. Act real bougie.
The nerve of you to think that I did not
Where's
buy
right,
right.
to Beyonce.
Where's
She
your
indignant
boss
about
at?
it.
Where's
your
your
boss?
Because I know where mine is. She's on stage.
Right.
Thank you. Right. Nah, y'all gonna get put out together.
You didn't see her wave at me?
She said, "Hey, girl." Y'all didn't understand.
Let's see. What else did I have? Oh, so Dallas County is preparing to house some immigrant children.
That's wonderful. Let's clap to that. Is that not good?
Are we clapping to that?
I'm not clapping to that.
I need some context.
I'm not
Before I
clapping
clap
to
for
that. Well, Judge Clay Jenkins,
Soft spot.
he's
I like
preparing to. Judge Clay Jenkins is cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's really, really cool. I've sat down and had some conversations with him that were like very, very fruitful conversations. So I see where he's going with it, but it's like until they change the policy, there's really nothing that we can do. So they're thinking about housing the kids at Edison Middle School. But the thing is, John Wiley Price, he made a good point. It's like Dallas has the highest child poverty rate in the country. So why don't we try to take care of those children first? And so then it becomes to be like a conversation about money. Okay, well, if the immigrants come here, then the federal government is going to be funding that particular project and not necessarily the city funding it. But then that just opens up a whole nother can of worms. Like, where if the government can help, then why the hell aren't they helping?
That part.
And,
I mean,
do you know how many homeless children we have in DISD?
Yeah, we do have a lot of homeless.
Thousands. Yeah. Thousands of homeless children that go to the shelter and get on the school bus at the shelter. And yes,
See, I should have just kept some candy.
I might be wrong, but isn't like there a whole big deal, like an ordeal about there's some kids in a cage right now?
Yeah, so there's kids.
You have to think about who's
they are
in
a cage. They have a facility that's in Teneo, Texas.
Yeah,
and
they're
in a
literally
cage.
in cages.
Yeah, so they're separating the children from the parents. Like whenever the parents come across the border, they're then separating the children from the parents. They're putting them in like a pen almost of like chain link.
It's like detention
with mats. And they have them sleep on the mats, and they are told that the people that work there are told that they cannot touch the children. They can't hold them or coddle them. So you have children who are 2, 3, 4 years old crying and screaming like, I want my mommy, I want my mommy.
And then I was reading that's one of the most damaging things that you can do to a person, to have a separation from your parent or to have some type of sexual or child abuse or something like that. Those things are hard to ever, get over.
I should have kept my candy because now I gotta speak. I should have been chewing on my candy, so I didn't have to say nothing.
Girl, speaking.
So it's the narrative now that is being painted is family, family, family.
Right.
But it's not even family. Let's keep everybody together, keep them in America. It's, oh, well, you want to be together? Okay, well, we're going to put all of y'all out together as a whole collective family. So it's pushing a narrative. I'm just not impressed by it. Shout out to Christian Hernandez, who does work with the Democratic Socialists of America, and they have been like on the DACA and on Abolish ICE for the last couple of years here in Texas very strongly, and I've been able to sit and watch the work that they've done. It's not a new thing.
Right.
It's something that is just being spotlighted and highlighted even more because it's coming from that man's administration.
Right.
But we aren't holding accountable what we have done as a city and a state in the past to help perpetuate the immigration issues that we have in the city.
I was just telling someone in the office yesterday, I was like, so let me get this right. I was like, all of these legislators are pissed off because the families are being separated. But when SB 4 came, like y'all weren't for sanctuary cities. Like y'all was all for, we gonna deport them and comply with the federal government and get them the hell out of here because they not legal, as if a human being can be legal or illegal. But I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah, it's all an agenda and everything. But it's like if you choose to be against it, then you're harming children. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the hang up with me. Like I can be like, that's not right, that's not what you should be doing. But at the end of the day, we still have children that are in cages, and that can never be okay. That wouldn't be okay with me. That wouldn't be okay with me for black children. Any race of children.
So I don't understand what is the issue with bringing them and housing them in Dallas schools, because to me, if these kids don't have anywhere to go, that's a good thing. So what is your viewpoint on that?
I think that we should be open to housing. I also think that if we're getting money from the federal government to house people who need refuge, because that's really what they need, we shouldn't be putting them in closed schools and closed prisons and saying, hey, come stay here, because that's dehumanizing within its own right. And then with this surplus of money that the county is going to get from housing from the federal government, what is that going to do to then impact the housing issues that we have here in our own city? Like, is anybody going to talk about the fact that right now I know there's a family that can't find a shelter to stay in because their son has seizures and the mother and father aren't married, and so they've been turned away, and because the woman won't admit that she's battered, she can't find a shelter to go to with her children. That's the reality of what we talk about when we say homelessness here in the city of Dallas, or the issue here countywide. We have shelters, but the policies that they are able to put in place for insurance purposes is dehumanizing. So then it's just hard.
They put those kids in the pens, and they said the Walmart that they have them in has those big lights overhead, and they never go off. Never.
Wow.
So like it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning, and they should be asleep. The lights are just blaring, and the kids, are awake, and it's prison. Like essentially, it is just prison, and it's like we're going to keep funding these prisons for people to be put in. And okay, so like she said, with the housing problem that we have here, I get calls 24/7 about housing. Like you won't even believe like the housing crisis that we have here. And then when you go out to these outskirts in suburbia where they build these apartments that are supposed to be, able for you to go and qualify, then they tell you, oh, well, we already accepted all the vouchers we're going to accept, or we're not really doing vouchers, or they still price you out where your voucher won't cover as much. Then you have transportation issues coupled with that, and then employment issues coupled with that. It's just deepening the issue like all around.
And I will say this, I'm all for the county. I'm a huge critic of the mayor, so I'll be trying to give him his props when I can, because that's not very often. But, they did do the right thing by allowing Dallas to be a sanctuary city when they were voting on SB 4. So, Judge stood up for that. The mayor stood up for that. I would, however, like to see them stand up to the county. And if we're going to do something about immigration issues and to welcome people into our city and into our county, then we need to be talking about why ICE is inside of the county jail when it shouldn't be there.
Right.
So then
that's so true.
Don't highlight one thing to say, oh, look at what we're doing, and we're doing something amazing, but then on the back end actively participate in separating and breaking apart these families, because they wouldn't even be in the detention center had they not got pulled over for a broken tail light. And then you went and arrested the dad, and then the mom showed up at court, and now the mom is getting picked up and somebody's trailing her back to the house, and now you got the whole family. Let's address where it's starting.
Right.
Not to say, oh, hey, we got an empty school. Come stay here on this cot and eat these, old biscuits. Like,
right. And then they identify the family that you came down here to stay with, and then boom.
Yes. It just keeps going.
Right. It just keeps going.
What's sad to me is that our solution which seems terrible, living conditions may still be better than the living conditions that they're experiencing back in Mexico.
And that is very true.
And so what we may look down on in terms of the living conditions that we would, feel are dehumanizing, they may say, well, this is heaven, heaven on earth.
But being separated from your children,
Not
I think
that
that's
part.
I think that's the main issue. But they don't. I'm sorry, I'm not escaping the mob, the Mexican mafia, and the drug lords, and picking fruit for 10 cents an hour,
cartels.
and the cartels, and putting my kids on my back, and risking my life in the back of an 18-wheeler where you can't breathe, just for me to come here and for you to put me into a cage. That wasn't. I mean, even though. If you want to compare apples to oranges, it's a better situation, but better, by what standards? It's not American better. Like when people come to America for the American dream, they don't think about being put in a pen. Like you just don't think of that. Like, you get 3 hots in a cot, but what is that? Like, that's not what you came for.
Right.
And the next thing they'll be complaining about is funding, and I don't want to hear anything about funding as long as you're trying to fund a space program and put Buzz Lightyear in space.
Space cadets going to fight the aliens.
They had a whole job fair at the White House.
I watched a lot of videos
for the space cadets.
No, because they can't pay nobody to come work in the White House. They've been losing employees.
Oh, right.
So they had a flyer for an actual job fair at the White House last Friday.
The line.
Who was lining up on the line to go work for this man?
I'm not saying anybody did that, but I'm saying that they did.
We're going to cut to a commercial right quick. And then we'll be right back.
Not you rude. I meant the people at the White House rude. Like
we went way faster. Hot in here. I'm hot. No, I'm hot.
No, but it was a hot guy in there.
Not that kind of hot. We need Metro Men. For all of your air conditioning and heating services, please contact Metro Air Conditioning and Heating Services at 214-948-8888 or visit him on the web at metroacs.com. You can also find him on Facebook at Metro Air Conditioning and Heating Services. He's been in business since 1990, a member of the Better Business Bureau with a AAA rating. And he may not be hot, but he'll make sure that you're not. Now, where's that other guy?
What picture are we?
Thank y'all for coming back. We are about to get ready to go into 30 and Broke. I know that you all just watched that commercial with Metro. He's one of our first sponsors, and it is still hot outside, so he's been busy.
It's very hot.
And if your AC has broken, then please call him at 214-948-8888. And even when the wintertime comes, he does heating also, so hit him up. But we're gonna go right into 30 and Broke with Farrell. It's usually Farrell and Shay, but Shay's still out. So tonight
they're making money, y'all.
Oh yeah,
So
Yes, and shout out to Lisa at home. Lisa, I forgot to mention you. How baby, you holding it down on social media. I'm
she always
sorry.
holds it down.
Hey, Lisa girl. So today I want to talk about a New York Times article about the gender pay gap between men and women. So when men and women finish college and generally start working, they're pretty much paid equally. However, the gender pay gap begins to arrive when women hit the age of like their late 20s to mid 30s, which they say is attributed to the motherhood years. According to 2 studies, statistically, married or single women without children tend to continue to earn equal to men throughout their careers. However, for college-educated women in high-earning occupations, and even women regardless of their pay scale, it tends to say that children are damaging to your career. That's what the study said, basically. If you have children, you're going to damage your career. So that's why we're beginning to see a trend of more women waiting until they're in their mid to late 30s to have children. Have y'all seen that?
Try to make money.
To try to delay motherhood to be able to become more established in their career, so that they don't have to worry about being seen as less than a man or, hurting their career because of their family choices.
For like African American women, I think that oftentimes a lot of them have children a lot earlier, so their gender pay gap starts off, at 17, 18 years old or whatever. So they're losing income even earlier in their lifetime. So I think that's something to look at. We're talking about gender pay gaps. Everybody doesn't. Some people wait until they're 25 and 30, and get a career and get a family and all of that type of stuff. But a lot of people don't even make it to that age to where they get to the point where they're not making the same as a man. They start out that way because they have babies.
They say a majority of our growth in our careers is going to happen between our late 20s to our 30s, 40s, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the age where a majority of women, regardless of race, will bear and raise their children, right? So regardless of whether you had your children young, still within that age period, you're rearing your children. And so the statistics show that college-educated women make 90% of what a man makes when they're 25 years old. But by the time they turn 45 years old, they make 55% of what a man makes. Wow. So we start off basically on the same playing field, and then over the course of, the mid part of our lives, we lose 35% of our competitive salary to what a man will make.
You feel like that? Well, okay, so you're saying that the article is pointing to children being motherhood being the factor.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, because some of the things they cite in their research is that employers tend to see women as less reliable workers than men because
take off
work, children get sick.
Usually the woman is the person that cares for the children when they're sick.
So now that makes me feel like I need this article on my next date to justify why I need my spouse to make X, Y, and Z dollars, because I'm going to lose 35% of my income.
Right.
Anyway. So you shouldn't be counting on that. So I need you to already be at that 35% above mine.
Exactly.
So that when you go ahead and tell me you want me to carry your child, I don't have to worry about what's going to happen to that 35%. No, what we already knew.
Well, I don't know if that's the solution, but you can do that if you want.
I'm just saying, can you go ahead and send me that?
I got you, girl. I'll post a link in here.
Stanton said,
but it's unfair.
Stanton said, men now get 6 to 8 weeks baby leave, maternity leave.
Right, so not only do you get more pay, you get maternity leave as well. But employers...
you 35% 25% more.
And you get maternity
We
leave.
get 3 months at my job.
To me, that sounds like you're gonna be up with
That's why
this
you trying to
baby
have
tonight too. Like all of that.
But it's more about perception of how your employers perceive a woman's ability to take on the responsibility of their household and a career.
Right.
So they're going to pass you up for promotions. They're going to, make you wait longer for a raise.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to justify giving you a lower hourly wage for your job because you're not going to be as hardworking as a man. And this article basically supports it with a lot of evidence in the New York Times. So finally, it says a bulk of the pay gap, 73% of the pay gap can be attributed to women not getting raises and promotions at the rate of men within companies. So I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts because right now, if you guys...
Say it again.
This point here, that it supports what I was saying, that 73% of the reason why there's such a large pay gap is because employers essentially refuse to give raises and promotions at the rates of women that they'll give to men.
Because
admittedly,
a woman is more likely to
be unreliable
and have, other responsibilities outside of work.
I think that's 100% true and reflective of what's really going on. As a woman who does not have children, if I need to take a sick day, I have to justify to my employer what it is that's so important that I'm sick. Not to say that a mother should have to justify, because you shouldn't. If your child is sick, you should be able to just leave. But as women, they already view us in the workplaces like these weak whatever. So then we force ourselves to go to work when we're sick. We force our children to be without us when they're sick because we can't not go to work. We have to do this. You don't want to fit that narrative. You don't want to have that narrative. And it's just like a dude can roll over and be like, no, I got hungover last night. Hey, Bill, I'm not coming in. And that's the end of it. Like, nobody's going to question him and say, well, could you tell me exactly what's wrong?
Right.
I shouldn't have to get on the phone with you and tell you I'm bleeding today and I don't want to function. I don't want to talk to anybody.
So I always you always have to remind your employer, not the job I'm in now, but I've had jobs previously where they're asked, like, when you call in sick, they're like, oh, well, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't have to tell you what's wrong with me. Mm-hmm. It's like, even if I come in with a doctor's note, like, you're just going to say I went to the doctor. Don't ask me why I'm calling in. I'm not coming. That's all I'm required to tell you is that I'm not coming.
It's a privacy issue.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. I think that a lot of women, although we may not want to admit it, do use their children as excuses or reasons why they can't do certain jobs.
Well, hold on.
For example,
can I just say, if you're going to use your kids as an example to not do something, don't go on Facebook and be like contradicting everything you said. Like, I got to pick my kids up from here, but then like 45 minutes later,
at a concert.
We see you at happy hour.
That's why you don't friend nobody from work, first of all.
That's why you don't make them your friends.
And don't put your babysitter on your Facebook.
Listen.
But I don't get that. Like, what do you mean people use their kids to
like
get
what
out
he was
of,
just saying?
Like, I can't come to work today because my kid. Like,
my kid is
oh my God, I get that all the. I swear to God, I think I got that excuse from somebody who didn't even have kids.
We have that power too. We know that we have it.
Well, see, for me,
listen,
I'm 8 months pregnant. No, I do have a drive. Thank you. But I had so much anxiety about revealing my pregnancy that I hid it as long as I could. Because even as a married woman, in a stable, industry that I work in, there's still these perceptions that when you get pregnant that you're lazy, that you're sick all the time, that you're not going to be as focused or committed as a man or someone else who's not pregnant. So you have to kind of go above and beyond to...
Right, but sometimes that was to your detriment, like when you had the flu.
Right.
She drove out with the gas pump in the car. She threw up in the yard. I was like, girl,
I'm dying, but I don't want anybody to think that I'm dying.
You ain't got nothing to prove, baby. Like, we know you hustle. You just pregnant. She pregnant with the flu and trying.
Don't y'all take my money away because I got this baby in my stomach.
And I didn't know you lied to Nick when you left the house that morning because I was like, I'm fine.
No,
sweating. I'm fine.
No, my husband would be like, baby, you good, you got it, you could do it. I'm praying for you. Just going out there and keep hustling.
Oh, hell no.
I'm gonna check back. Bring that check back.
No.
See, That's my point exactly. It's like when you're pregnant or when you're a mother, you have even more financial responsibilities. That's not the time for your pay to be getting cut. You have to worry about daycare.
But that's what he's supposed to take the slack.
Yeah, but I mean, what about single mothers?
Especially when they're
single
mothers. And
with single mothers, you do what you gotta do.
That's really
you're gonna do what you gotta do. Period. I mean, as a culture, like if we don't know how to do nothing else, we know how to survive. Period. And so we turn water into wine every day. So and as that's as black women, but as black mothers, like we've always been able to make do, but we've started to get away from the whole village aspect. Because I mean, seriously, like when it comes down to like not even just financially, but just having like a support system, like a network of women that you can talk to, or like having a family that's there to help you babysit and things like that. We don't necessarily even have that because the mama, she trying to go to the club too. I ain't keeping your damn kids. I'm trying to go to the club too.
I think that's because people have kids a lot younger now, or have had kids a lot younger.
They
so
14 and pregnant.
The grandma is like still in her, she's still living. Mama gotta have a life too.
My mother is watching right now.
New
she will
grandmama.
let y'all all know she is not here for keeping children. She has no grandbabies. She is barely retired.
Miss Chris, that'll change when you have kids.
She is adamant. She's like, I don't know who you think taking care of these kids because I'm not. I'm going on trips.
They all say that.
I know, but see, I believe her.
You believe her?
I believe her.
Okay.
When she says
well, you
things.
know your mama.
No, we had a combo about that. There was a moment where we thought she might be a grandmama, and she was like, so I know you thought it was cute, but wasn't nobody finna help you take care of that baby but you, so get it together. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Mama Chris.
Mama
Go
Chris
see it, IUD.
She don't be playing the game. She don't be playing, so I get it.
So, Lisa said, it's funny that they say women are unreliable, but we are holding everything down.
Listen.
We are the greatest multitaskers. I mean, let all the women at a company just walk out one day.
Come on, hashtag
I mean,
just
just
black
like
women.
if you think about like what you do as a mother or as just as a woman, like from start to finish, like at the top of your day to the end, it's like there ain't no man I know that can do the magic I do from 6A to 6P.
Exactly.
There ain't no man out there that can pull it off.
I give my husband 3 tasks a day, and he might get 2 out of 3 done. Me, I can write a to-do list with 100 items and be check.
Right.
It's that extra step of thoughtfulness that it takes to be a multitasker, because it's not just you multitasking your stuff, it's you trying to multitask everybody else's stuff, and you gotta have that extra level of thoughtfulness that sorry black men, y'all gonna get me, but I don't think that men have in that regard. Not all men. We gonna
don't
allegedly.
Don't blanket.
Allegedly, not all men.
Don't blanket.
No, I will not blanket because there are some thoughtful men. But
not sitting right next to me.
I'm sorry, Johnson. I mean it. But there's like this extra step that we as women, especially black women, take when we are putting together our to-do list and the things that need to be done. I guarantee you, if you stop and think about your to-do list, the first 5 things on that list don't even have anything to do with you.
Just thinking about it. Oh, right, yeah.
That's true.
And also like this, when it comes into relationships, the other aspect of this, when you have a mate and you're doing all of these things, and then it's like if they forget to do one thing, or if they forget, and you might not even say anything, but you just think to yourself like, well, damn, I done did this, that, and then all you had to do was get up and take yourself to work. And I asked you to take out the trash, and it's like you can't take out the trash.
I know a lot of women resentful for stuff like that.
Yeah,
because they're just like,
and it just sends you over the edge. And like, why are you tripping?
Why
it's
you
like, because I'm tired. Like I'm chronically tired.
So I want to ask the ladies. I don't know if we still have time, but if we could go back to the old days where women just stay home and had the baby,
lies,
and just the man made all the money, would you do it? Kimiko said, yeah. You would?
Stuff.
I mean, if I
you think I
stay home, yeah, I would stay at home with my kids, but I would do other activities outside of the. I would do other activities outside of the home, like I would probably still do the podcast or something like that. But I would stay at home with my children. Because I have a real strong desire to like educate my children myself. So that would just give me more time to be able to do that. And I like playing the sports my kids like to play and all of that type of stuff. I did it before.
How long?
I stayed at home for till my first son was like 3 years old.
You didn't get cabin fever?
I did, but that was because I didn't have any other activities going on other than just him. I would do it a little different this time around. I would have something else going on, but I would stay at home. Yeah, you go make the money. I
seen the parents like get lost in being parents, and it's like, because even like just Eli, he's been working night shift, so whenever he works night shift, I'm like single mama, you know. It's just like I got her while he's sleeping, I got her all day, and then at night, you know, he's not there, he's at work, so it's just me and her, and I'll be about to lose it, bro. I done seen every episode.
Even like kids.
She said me about to
I don't. Like, I love my kids.
About to lose it.
I know you love your kids.
I love my kids, but I don't like kids.
I love kids.
But it's like she's 18 months old. She's climbing on everything. We don't watch all the Puppy Dog Pals, the Vampirinas. We don't watch everything. We don't watch Moana 22 times. Like, and it's like you can just lose yourself. And it's like I find myself baby talking, and I don't need, like, when she's not there, I find myself like baby talking, and I'm like, oh hell. It's like you just
like, what is going
absorbed in that life, because it's like it's just been me and her, you know, for the past week, and then it's gonna be all this week. Y'all pray for me, by Friday I might be out of here. I don't know.
That's why they say mothers that stay at home be the ones that's addicted to prescription
pain pills.
Drinking
all the wine. They love
trying
wine.
to make it through the day.
You seen them? They drink wine.
We have to cut to our next commercial with Wild Monkey Design, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about the Cash App and the live QTNA, because we didn't get a lot of Cash Apps this time, we want to get that Cash App money away. So if you call in on the live for the QTNA with some good questions and answer some of our questions, we're gonna put some money in your Cash App.
Ching,
so
ching.
Right after this commercial break,
You see
call in.
Zelton and Kat getting into it.
Have you been caught urinating in public? At a church, nursery school, your neighbor's pool? Call Wild Monkey Design right now. That's every man's right, and we'll defend your freedoms in court. Call this number at the bottom of your screen.
The day I was diagnosed with diabetes was the worst day of my life. When the doctor told me how expensive all my medicine was gonna be, I nearly fainted. I'm on a fixed income. But Wild Monkey Design was there for me. They pay for my medication and even deliver it to my door. Thank you, Wild Monkey Design.
Do you struggle putting beans in your chicken roast? Nothing you try seems to work? Now you can put those worries behind you with a Grind-A-Bean 2.0, brought to you by Wild Monkey Design.
We don't do any of this shit. We are Wild Monkey Design, your identity design firm. We do web design, web development, analytics, SEO, social media integration, logo design, and layout design. Call us today for a quote. Hey bro, what you over there doing, man? What you?
You paid for a 2-hour film session. It's been 2 hours.
No, man. Can I just get 5 more minutes?
And we're back. So we have the Drop That Cash App, and we only had two entries this week. So this week I decided I wanted to do a live QTNA. So we're gonna open up the phone lines, and we have questions like men. There was somebody that asked me like about men at work, men that still live at home with their mamas. How do y'all feel about that? Women who can't cook. It was a whole bunch of other questions. We're gonna take a live call. If you got any type of questions that you want to ask us, they have to be good. And then we're gonna drop some cash in your Cash App. They start a good conversation. The phone number. Did you put the phone number up? Jensen?
Yeah.
The phone number is up here.
469
708
8609
8609. So somebody call in.
Yeah, we need to hear y'all opinions about this.
Lisa are you free? We'll take you calling in first if you free.
My God.
She was actually somebody was just calling just then, so call back.
Call back.
I was trying to answer, but you hung up right when I was trying to.
Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. We got you.
Stay on the line. Well, while we're waiting on some calls to come in, I just want to tell y'all that this weekend was a.
Hold on, Drea. She's done hard over here.
Is she making?
I'm taking Drea with me when I go record my freestyle.
I'm the hype man. I'm over here getting my Migos on.
Drea.
They said we not answering. Lisa said
So you sending them the voicemail.
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. We getting the phone lines together.
They said I called. Got sent the voicemail. JoJo said answer. Oh, we got people calling.
I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Thank you for calling in the 30-something podcast. Who do we have on the line?
Uncle JoJo.
Uncle JoJo. You supposed to be here tonight. What's up, JoJo? Happy Father's Day.
First and foremost, I dropped my cash out. I need my cash out.
This nigga.
No, you're going to give you $1. You already balling, JoJo. You know, not about to put no money in your account.
Okay. Look, I got a question.
Okay.
What's up?
Now.
This better have something to do with the QTNA.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can have his own QTNA.
I can. Oh. I have to have a certain question.
No, ask whatever you want to ask, JoJo.
Okay. Now look, we did it big for the mothers. You know, we did the cars and we sent the.
This what happened when you let folks say their own stuff. See,
Miko, you came to the event and you know you made a little clip for the father. What happened to the Father's Day? Why y'all people in the like that?
Didn't I said Happy Father's Day when you got on the line?
He said we didn't have a father up here. We should have been interviewing somebody.
I have a picture of my husband. I'm gonna show tonight and tell y'all how great of a father he is.
it should be loving on his husband, baby.
That's about as good as
That's the only man.
We didn't do anything.
Matters.
We didn't do anything.
She said she posted this picture. She said, "I make another baby with you."
That's the picture I brought tonight too. I would make another baby right here live on set.
No, nigga.
Live on set.
The fuck?
Oh.
Who we got on the line?
That was a joke.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Telling you all that I love him.
Because we're not picking up his call. We hear you.
Next caller. Who we got?
Yes, I got through.
Hey.
Who is this? Is it Zelton?
Hey, Zelton. What's up, Zelton? Happy Father's Day to you too.
I see Kat charging you up on the live.
Yeah, we saw you getting charged up on the live. You better keep Kat name out your mouth.
Hey, Kat. I hear you in the background.
She's right there charging them.
That's love. That's love.
What's going on?
My actual question is, I actually asked Miko on Facebook earlier today, but my question is, why is it that black women, right?
Don't do that.
Why is it that black women get so mad at black men when they date out of their race, but those same black women praise other black women when they date outside of their race? You see what I'm saying? It's like,
can I chime? I'm gonna chime in real quick.
She had to flip.
I don't praise nobody for doing that. First of all, because I feel like black love is real revolutionary, and I feel like it's something about the union between two black people and producing black children that helps to strengthen the culture, and you get to pass that strength down, to your children through the lineage that we didn't have when we came here. You can create that lineage. So me personally, I don't do no applauding to none of that. I mean, you find love where you find it, but you ain't gonna find no claps over here. I don't discriminate that way.
Because honestly, like my close friend circle, my best friend, they're in a interracial relationship and they have a mixed child, and then my other set of friends. I mean, I don't just have two friends, but
that's it.
She lied, y'all lies.
They're interracial relationship. I just feel like the world is a big melting pot. All of us, none of us are all. Look at all these different shades of brown we are. Right. We all have something mixed up in there. So for me, if you can find love. No matter
what you saying,
what color that person is, I'm gonna applaud that.
He's still talking. What you saying?
What you say, Zelton?
No, I'm not saying that there's a problem either way. I'm cool. Like I said.
He's saying why do?
Oh, you saying why do they say? Oh, he had to go get a white girl.
Okay, so I'm gonna chime in on it. I think that the reason why we applaud the women versus the men is because we see it more often with the men. And now it's kind of like, okay, so if the men are out dating outside of their race, then the women need to be going out and getting it too, because you don't have nobody left. So I'm like, I
would say
but half the time when it's guys dating outside they race, the women that, you know, put up a fight about it, they wouldn't even give him a chance anyway.
Well, I mean, there's that.
Good point.
That is a point. But the other flip side to this is most of the black guys that I've seen that date white women, they bash black women. Like, they be on some real self-hating type shit.
Straight
and it's
self-hate.
like, do you hate your mama? Like, why is it's like they only date white women? Now, if you say I date whoever, and if I just so happen to fall in love with a white woman, then that's one thing.
That's different.
But if you on some self-hate stuff where it's like, oh,
Soon
well,
as you talk about a black
attitude,
attitude,
they always got an attitude. It's like, I know some white women who will check the hell out of you.
Right.
True. A woman is a woman. And don't go get a Latin woman.
And clap and snap and be all types of up and down. It is not my personal preference. My portfolio is no longer diverse in that nature. We have selected the stocks that we want. But I applaud a black woman that finds love with a white man or a man outside of her race, because it is so rare for the black woman to be loved for who she is.
Right. Don't be single waiting on
all
a
right.
black
We have a we have a new caller on the line.
love.
We have a new caller on the line. Who do we have?
It's Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. We happy we got you on here.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey.
Okay, I just want to tell y'all, be mindful of the time.
She's still tagging us from the house. Be professional. Keep it cute, ladies.
I have 2 questions.
Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah, Darian. I'm sorry, Darian is in my room. I'm working. Okay, my bad, guys. So, first question, because I have this booty do.
Okay, booty do.
Y'all know what a booty do is?
Yes,
girl.
Yes.
So, I want
Well, hold on. I don't know what a booty do is.
It mean when your stomach stick out further than your booty do.
for their mate.
You said what now?
Should a person change their physical appearance for their mate?
Hell no, and he should have never been your mate, or she should have never been your mate to begin with. Because if you can't love me for all of this that I am, as I am, when I am, then you don't deserve me. You're not going to be
she got
my
a
mate.
strong opinion about that.
No,
I think
you
a
can
lot
change it
of
for you, but not for
Have the
him.
booty do when they
a lot of men
then
say that
you
the
shouldn't have got with me
women
for my booty do.
change. The women
Oh,
change
okay,
after.
well,
I'm not saying it's better, but
Hey,
that I've
let me tell you
heard.
about this fat and fabulousness. I'm out here working with in these
Hey,
streets,
thick.
and if whether I decide to get
Thick.
bigger or smaller,
Thick.
you should want to be with me for not the externals.
Right.
At least, you know, hey, look, I'll be looking for a little something more grounded, more real, and more substantial. So
Right.
if you want to be with somebody who's going to leave you because your booty do stick out a little bit more in year 2 than it did in year 1, then
Yep.
that's your
They were
preference.
gonna
But at
Anyway.
the same time, you should be able to hold your partner accountable if you feel like they're getting a little bit too ridiculous.
Right.
You should be
Like,
able
let's
to
go
say,
work out
"Babe,
together.
Yeah.
let's go."
Yes.
Yeah,
Do a
I
walk.
mean,
But
if
you better be
you,
on point.
if they men are very physical, so
Visual,
especially
too.
visual.
Visual.
So
My
yeah,
booty is still winning the race.
It is, because I saw it. I saw
that
it.
pizza is,
That thing was poking.
that pizza is doing some things. I've seen some
That's
pictures.
that pepperoni.
No, that's when I stopped playing basketball. That's where I put the basketball.
Oh,
okay, girl.
Them hams, girl. That's some Christmas
Yeah.
hams.
I think
well, as
that,
long as you got that, that's all they care about. Girl.
I think that people
You ain't
measure.
lying.
I think that people tend to measure how you feel about yourself as along with how you take care of yourself. So then I've seen there are a lot of cute girls that take really, really good care of themselves and they make it look really, really good. Like, I'm skinny. I don't even want to be skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people want you to be bigger. Some people want you to be smaller and all that type of stuff. Everything that you do should be for you. It should be for you, and your partner should never like push you or try to make you be a certain kind of way or make you do anything. But I think that it's important that you show that you care about yourself. So then you should want to do things to improve your body and all of that type of stuff on their own. I think that that's what's important about it. It's you showing that you care about yourself,
Right.
not
'Cause
so
some
much
people-
that your stomach is.
It doesn't
big.
matter.
You get in relationships,
Just
and
like
then
I
you
don't
just
care.
get
It is what it
sloppy.
is.
Right. It
Right.
doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It's so many beautiful women, big, small,
Self-esteem
tall,
low.
short, with low self-esteem. I was watching
Yes.
Wendy Williams, my guilty pleasure, and Dr. Miami was saying that there has been
Dr. Miami.
a 90% increase in the Brazilian butt lift in the last like 5 years. And that's because women feel like they have to compete with other women. And like Kamiko was saying, if you are confident, it doesn't matter what you look like. You can walk in a room and just steal the show.
I got a homegirl. She's a larger woman and she's tall. And when I tell you, just from her size alone, she commands attention. But when I tell you, this girl walk like a model. When she come her head, she be like, "You peasants." Yeah, she walking around, like that's the energy that she commands, and it's insane. We got another caller,
and that's all your man wants.
You actually have a comment on the.
My second question though.
No,
okay, let her answer.
You the reason why we running over.
My bad. Okay, so second question. Should a woman jump in a dude's DMs if she is interested in him?
Sure, jump, dive, swim, skip, fall.
No, ma'am, especially not if he married. Get out my man DM.
If he's married,
for jumping in married DMs. Do not do that.
What happened? She's just talking about. She's talking about any man. I think that
no, a single man.
Like a single man.
Interested, but she prefers to be approached first.
So I think I wouldn't say that I'm against approaching or letting somebody know that you're interested. There's a line that you cross.
It's a method.
There is a line that you cross that turns it into, hey, I think that you're kind of cool or cute, and I would like to get to know you.
Instead of saying, hey, you want to knock me down?
Busting it open. You know what I'm saying? With your words. Yeah, like on, and then being.
You want to grab my booty?
I mean, yeah, and then just throwing it out there on text messaging.
I can imagine what some men's DMs look like. I just want to see like a man's DMs one day. Like
no, because I don't believe that. Sweating. They be too busy sweating.
No, some of these men's DMs is popping.
So I'm sure your DMs stay popping, Jonathan. I know your DMs. I'm sure them DMs be lit.
Your DMs stay popping.
I'm just.
Well, let us see it. Open your DMs and I want to see what's in your DMs.
No disrespect, Courtney. We don't want no problems. We don't want no problems, Courtney.
Not Coco.
I'm all for it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you.
I'm all for it. It's 2018. Women, we need to shoot our shot in 2018. I'm all about shooting shots.
Don't shoot your shot in a married man.
The thing is online.
Don't
get shot. So sketchy. It's like when it's online, because like there's already like that presumption of, you know, just an undertone of sex. You know, when it's online.
I got married off Facebook. So,
really? You still married?
Well,
Oh, okay. Now I have a different outlook on it.
Well, hold on. What does that mean? He got married on Facebook?
I met my husband on Facebook.
Oh, so you met your okay? I got
and it wasn't catfish.
Facebook is a way to connect these days.
Look at that.
I
could have been catfish.
Let's be real. We've been catfishing since '99.
Catfishing since they've been catfishing.
You don't know chemistry online, so you're gonna have to hit that person up if you're interested.
Is that the Bobby Shrimp?
I've just looked at the time, and we really need to get into why we have our special guest.
Hold on, I really hate to interrupt. Y'all have somebody chatting in the Dallas on air.
What happened? What did
so Keisha in Arlington just wants to chime in. She like hitting me up.
Okay.
I'm not fat. I'm so damn sexy it overflows.
Oh, I like that.
Saying about the love, like being.
Yeah, that was the first comment.
Love that overflow.
That was Keisha and Arlington.
That was cute.
You better invite them into the overflow.
Listen, but I DM'd the dude to ask him about some shirts, and he was like, "So what's up, little mama?" What? I was like, "Don't you do shirts?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, that's what I was DMing you about."
What's up, little mama?
We got to
these shirt prices.
And then he was like, "Oh, that's what you wanted." Oh, so you made?
Yes, salty. They be dehydrated.
We are so happy to have you here tonight.
Yay! Get my life back.
We posted her picture and everything, and what she does. She runs a community garden. She has been gardening since she was 3. Did you tell me 3 or was it 5? It was 3 years old. And now it's become her life. So I just want you to kind of go into detail a little bit about how you got into gardening, how you feel like it has affected your life, and how it has helped you change other people's lives.
Ooh, okay. So wait, first question was how did I get into
How
gardening?
did you get into gardening?
So I got into gardening I run a business called Nella Roots Gardening, and Nella would be my aunt Bernella. We didn't call her Bernella, we called her Aunt Butch. But Aunt Butch is the one who had me over off of 51st Street in Oak Cliff growing potatoes or peanuts. She told me my potatoes didn't get big. She told me they was peanuts, so I thought I had a magical potato, and it wasn't until I was like 22 when I realized that you cannot indeed grow peanuts from potatoes, but that's a whole nother situation. I guess I went home and probably bugged my dad and my mom long enough where my dad was like, all right, I'll give you a garden in the backyard. So he built me my own garden, and from there, it was something that I did with him for years, and he was the sweetest. Like, he would eat the baby watermelon because it didn't get big, and I didn't know that it was not getting big. So he would just be like, yeah, it's ready, and he would take it. So they were really encouraging.
That's good.
And just kind of passing that tradition on because his mother had gardened when he was a little boy, and so for him to do it with me when I was growing up, and it was just something I kind of kept doing. You had to come to my house to go in the backyard to know that I had a garden. It was not the hot thing to do when we were in high school and middle school. Be like, oh yeah, this weekend, y'all, I'm about to go check on my tomatoes. No, that was not the hotness. So I kept doing that and turned into a job. And then what was the second one? Because I forgot that quick.
How gardening, how it has changed your life, and then how it has helped you change other people's lives.
Wow, gardening helped me find myself. Like, really figure out who Clarice Jonelle Chris was, because I couldn't have even said my name confidently like this 3 years ago, because I knew who Clarice was supposed to be based off of what everyone else had told me. I went to school, I got the degree in psychology, which I guess I use it, but if I had have paid attention to my instincts from childhood, when I completed all of the botany assignments at the Montessori school in 4th grade for the whole 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, that probably should have been a sign to somebody like, hey, that little girl like plants. Like, she come to school every day and she don't want to touch nothing else. She be like, forget this math, forget this English, but I'll knock this botany assignment out. Or even in college, the classes that I got A's in North Texas were microbiology, physics, and environmental science. Like, so that was I'm going to class, I can't wait, showing up. I didn't miss nothing. The rest of the psychology classes, I missed it. So it helped me find me, because I go to church every single day. That I go outside and I go step into a garden.
It's spiritual.
It's so spiritual. All of the lessons that we talk, they talk about the Bible and about a garden in the first verse of the Bible. Like, you get into Genesis 1 and you start talking about the gardens. The way in which we could relate to one another and to ourselves by paying attention to the way that the plants live and breathe daily and the way that everything interacts with them, it's magical. So it's hard to not stay humble when you're humbled daily by something that is surviving and sustaining with very little support for you. It's a reminder that I don't have control over my life. Weeds will wrap around anything that you don't pull them out, and so once you let it grow so deeply, then now it's twisted a part of it's what's supporting and sustaining you. So then what happens when you cut that weed away? How do you support and sustain yourself? Right. So this is just like what I'm thinking about at 8:15.
Like life lessons.
Right, out in the garden.
You need to write a book about gardening, what gardening taught you.
You know, that's something I try and take little notes. I haven't been as diligent, particularly this season, because I'm doing a lot of political work, which is also how I guess gardening has changed me. I went from being a parole officer to being like, nope, I ain't doing this no more. I don't want to go to loose there no more. I can't lock up not another soul. My spirit was broken. I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't get out the bed. I didn't care if I got fired. Like, it just was not, it wasn't healthy anymore. I quit and was like, I just want to garden. I didn't know what this was going to look like, what it was going to turn into. But with me being diligent to the gift that I was giving and honoring that, now I have a job working for an amazing national Black organizing group where I'm doing political work on a national level. And that's something that I would have never even thought about or even been introduced to had I not started gardening and getting into organizing and activism, because I didn't realize what I was doing in the community was organizing. I was trying to feed folks. Now we talking about the lights and the street, this and the, we're talking about everyday problems, but really it was just, I just want to feed folks. So
are you still at the? Do you still take your foods to the WIC office?
So that was like, I know I had all these projects. Y'all.
You did.
Jesus, like so many projects. So the WIC Farmers Market does still happen.
Okay.
That is a project that Grow North Texas, which is a nonprofit here locally, manages for the USDA. Okay. So every Tuesday between now and October, actually, there will be a farmers market at one of the 2 WIC locations, either the Buckner or the Oak Cliff location off of Loop 12, Ledbetter. So that was something we set up with them. In addition to that, I used to manage and like transitioning power over the community garden in South Dallas, the Sunny South Garden. So that was where I started growing food and working with the kids in the community. We did a pickle program last year, so they grew their cucumbers from beginning to end. We talked about what it looked like for them, what would they want to sell, what's one thing if they could sell it, what would they do? They said pickles. So we researched cucumber varieties. We picked the right seeds. They planted the seeds. They grew them. They were impatient all summer, but they were patient enough. And then we went to Recipe. Shout out to Tisha over at Recipe, and she let us have her kitchen, and we did a pickle class, and they got to take the vegetable that they had grown, turn it into a pickle, take it home, and then sell those pickles.
What did they put Kool-Aid in the pickles?
We did a regular Kool-Aid and a hot Kool-Aid pickle. We didn't get to the Kool-Aid quite yet. We might Kool-Aid it up this summer.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get there, so there's that.
Tell us more about how you linked your career in the as a parole officer to gardening, because you were telling me that you were doing a program.
Yes, so as a parole officer, my final assignment as a PO was the sex offender caseload. So I was the parole officer for the sex offenders, and you could have never told me as a victim of molestation that I would be an advocate for somebody who was a sex offender, but I became one because I realized how deep this person's life is now ingrained into the state in a way that you can't undo it. So it just started playing.
And a lot of the times, those people be victims
or
victims themselves.
These black men that have been locked up in the 70s and 80s from alleged rapes of white women or crimes of indecency that happened in the county prison when they were raped by other men and then charged as sex crimes. Like, it's a lot that we don't think about when we say sex offender. We just kind of have that
Group
generalized
together.
You raped a 5-year-old girl. Like,
so
that's what I always say.
You don't know. And I mean, those are definitely those stories, and I'm way more desensitized to it than I should be. But it's like after you read 50 caseloads, you just kind of go, okay. But even with the regular caseload and a specialized caseload, these men and women in Texas are in prison on farms. Period, point blank.
They're farming.
TDCJ, which is the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, owns more farmland than any other corporation in Texas.
So it's like new age, like they're out running the crops.
Ain't no new age. This has been
a transition.
So the prisons came from penal farms. So you would go work on the farm, and it just transitioned. You go to Hutchins, and that property is still set up like the farm. And the reality of black men being chained together and then having to cut acres of grass with hoes. Not with a lawnmower, but with a hoe. And if one person wasn't cutting their blades and they got missed, then every whole line has to drop down and crawl on their knees and chop with a hoe. You can only hear those stories so many times. Or when they say, I don't want to do it, and you have to sit in a cage in the middle of the field for the whole day because you don't want to work.
Wow.
These are your options.
And that's here in Texas?
That is here. Well, girl, we can go to Terrell, to the cannon factory down the freeway in Terrell where they work. TDCJ processes all. They eat pork in prison because the prisoners raise the pigs.
Right.
So their skill level
is amazing and phenomenal when they
get out. But when they get out, they don't have anything to do with it. So
where you going in Dallas to farm?
With you, right?
I mean, with me, yes, with me. Like now, hopefully, yes, with me. But
do you work with Chrysonda?
Yes, I love Ikai. Love you, McCarty and Mathai Garden.
Yes,
that's
she's so awesome.
My boo. She brought me back seeds from Africa, so I got some beautiful seeds.
She's such a beautiful spirit.
Hey, so we got Keisha. She's chiming in on the Dallas On Air site. She wants to know. She has a question for you. She wants to know, what do you like to grow in a shady space?
Ooh, So that would depend on if you want to do food or vegetables. There are options. I can also say that, Keisha, I have consultation fees if you want to really sit down and discuss what that looks like. Otherwise, I would refer you to the good Google and Texas Master Gardener's website, where you can go take a class on shade gardening, and they will tell you exactly what you can plant for your shade.
Come on now.
So sorry, yes, this is the lessons of 2018, because baby, 2017 was rough on me. I made $7,000 busting it through the city, helping everybody and bending over backwards, because it was really just about the work. But I realized how much value and worth is in the knowledge that I know and over 30 years of skill.
Right.
So I have to be real about it.
But weren't you giving opportunities to people who had been incarcerated?
Oh, yes. So when I first started working at the Sunny South Garden, I begged, shout out to Miss Steele and the Texas State Federation of Garden Clubs, which is the oldest Black garden club in Texas, and they're phenomenal women. And when I say garden club, I mean like the tea and table arrangement, floral, but they're keeping the tradition alive. And I begged them to let me come work at their garden. They told me yes. We worked out a deal, and the men in the community that had been incarcerated would come by and they would see me working, and they would tell me what they would do. And they were like, oh, well, you know, when I was down with them people, we would do this. And, oh, let me see that Aggie. And so I'm like, Aggie? And then so they started telling me about all the different ways that they talked about the tools. And so then it became, all right, I got 10 in my pocket. Can you come over here and work for this $10? I'm not finna do nothing crazy or whatever. And then whatever you want to take home to eat, you can take home. You just find a way to barter. But then that also presents some issues, because South Dallas, where the garden is located, is a transient community, and people would get reincarcerated. People would, you know, have one of the guys had his whole family was murdered while he was here in Dallas. In the country, his daughter and his grandkids were all murdered. And so that kind of set him back. And I still see him. Shout out to Mr. Bobby and the strength that he's endured. But I still see him often, and how you expecting somebody to show up to work every day. Big shout out to the MLK Restorative Justice Farms, which I helped do some consulting and project management on when they first started that out. They work with Miles of Freedom and have given these guys who have come home with these skills an opportunity to do landscaping and farming here in the urban area and run a greenhouse. Tyrone is amazing, and he ran the greenhouses at TDCJ by himself for 20 years. And I don't know if people understand like the scope of a big greenhouse and what it takes to manage and care for many different varieties of plants on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week system with just you and one other person. But that's the skill set that I don't have. And I've been doing this since I was 3. But here's this man that was being underutilized, and nobody knew he had that talent. So creating those opportunities.
Where has it led you to now? Because you're focused on doing more healing, right?
So where has it led me to now? Well, that's interesting. It's led me into a lot of trouble. Half the time I don't think my city council member like me. Hey, Casey, I love you too. But we just, you know, it has really led me to taking more of a public role in organizing. I've always been a person that paid attention to what was going on with city politics. I just kind of hid out in the corner with it. I'm a nerd to extreme proportions. I like to read policy and legislation. So I am the person that likes to go through the city agenda.
Though. Oh my God.
It's so convoluted, but once you realize what you're reading, like you can't put it down. So I like to go see who the city is selling land to. And I mean all of it. Like, let me run it. And then I'm going to go research that company. So I fall down rabbit holes. But those rabbit holes help me go back to the community and say, hey, they're about to try and rezone this lot.
When that whole cement plant.
The cement plant in Joppy. Like, shout out to the organizers in Joppy who stood up for themselves and were like, no, y'all ain't finna put another plant behind our houses, and our kids can't breathe when they go outside. So all of this turned into what I did not know was a thing, was food justice. I was like, what is food justice? I don't want to. Had no clue that I was doing food justice work, and the food justice turns into environmental justice, because this is the new racism. Like, this is truly the new Jim
lack
Crow.
Of grocery stores.
The lack of grocery stores, resources. The food deserts, which is not a food desert, it's food apartheid, because deserts are natural man-made or natural occurrences. Food deserts are intentional and deliberate.
Come on
and systemic.
Snap.
So You know, let's call it what it is. This is food apartheid. This was deliberate that you decided to close these grocery stores. Right. Let's be clear, there were grocery stores in these communities and they got closed. Mm-hmm. This was deliberate that you put these plants in this neighborhood, so now there is dust on the leaves of the trees. And if there's dust on the leaves, then what do you think's in the ground? And how are these people supposed to grow anything for themselves? Mm-hmm. It's deliberate. So we start talking, and shout out to Misty with the Sierra Club. We plotting, we coming. We finna get the black numbers in the Sierra Club up so we can have voting power. I currently do organizing with the Color of Change.
What about the wellness and the healing?
Oh, Lord. Ooh, the wellness. Yes. So I have become a little bit of a backyard bruja.
Yes.
And I have started to focus specifically on women's reproductive health, but also just holistic health in general for African American men and women. We go to the doctors at an alarming rate. We are the #1 purchasers of prescription pills, and those prescription pills were created so that we didn't take away all the resources. They were made to replicate what's already going on naturally. So why not just go back to getting it naturally instead of going and buying this Tylenol? My friends talk about me, or they joke with me, because whenever they're on the phone with something that happened, I'll be like, oh, I got to leave for that, because I got to leave for that.
Listen, like, I'm all about natural health. Like, I will, before I go to the doctor, like, I would be like, okay, so, because I used to sell vitamins and supplements, and so whenever, like, some kind of, it takes a little bit longer for it to work, but when it works, it don't work just for a little bit. Like, it goes away.
It goes away.
So
I had been sick. My liver was inflamed because I was doing too much. I was stressed out, and I don't know, that's a whole nother thing. The spirit sent a woman to me while I was at the hospital who like saw me turning in my urine sample and was like, baby, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what them doctors finna tell you, but you need to quit being angry and quit being stressed. And I was like, what? She was like, I can see it all in your pee. Okay, well. Like, I didn't mean, how you mean? You just got in my business.
She read your pee.
She read my pee and she got in my business, y'all. And when I heard from the doctors that my liver was inflamed and like all these things were pointing back to stress and anger and hostility, to be able to go in my backyard and say, all right, I need to make dandelion tea because dandelion helps detoxify the liver. To go talk to that piece of dandelion and say, I need you to pull in your energy and heal my liver. Go in the house and make a tea and drink it.
So
and
we
be
can just stop by your garden and tell you what our problem is, and you're gonna pull a tea out.
But what I did want to ask you is,
that's what I'm
how can the community do more? Because I think a lot of it is, a lot of people, like, they want to get involved, but they just don't know, because there's a lot of people who want to get involved, but they just don't know where to go or what to do. And I also feel like, because I wanted to bring my daughter and, you know, go in the garden, and because that's a whole different type of vibe when you introduce the children to it.
But it's a beautiful vibe.
It is.
It's something that it's Juneteenth. So I'm like looking dead in the camera because I want us to be clear. It's Juneteenth and we came from the land.
Right.
We were people before we were slaves who were so connected to the land that they came and found us to make it work here for them in a place where it couldn't work. And we did it. When we get back to that connectedness, do you know what type of power I feel every day when I go outside and put my hands in the soil? Because I know what my hands are capable of creating if I nurture and care for something. And in turn, what that's going to do for me to nurture and care. As regards to like the community, I think we can get back into community. That would be step one. Like, there's no reason that you sitting at the house with leftover food and your neighbors are at home hungry, but you don't know they're hungry because there's no conversation even happening. Or I may not have water, but I got pots and pans and you got water, so let's figure this out.
Make some work.
Make it work. And there are opportunities. I will be real, there aren't that many opportunities in the city when it comes to black women and or black men that are doing urban farming or urban ag, but we do have some really amazing allies. Shout out to Susie Marshall with Grow North Texas and Chad. They took me under their wing and really gave me a platform and taught me about urban farming when it was just something I was like, I'm just gonna be in my backyard. They were like, girl, now let's bring you over here to these 5 acres and put you on this tractor and like really take you around and show you some stuff and help you take it back to the community. Also to know that community gardens are cute. And I say this as someone who runs one and is an advocate, but they are not food access points. If you can't sustainably feed 20 people out of your space on a daily, consistent basis, then that's not food access. That's just educational. Not to say that you're not helping anybody, but how do we create food access? How do we create more co-oping? How do we do more community-based communal living?
Can I just say something? Because this is like something that speaks to my heart. I'm actually a certified master gardener out of the University of Florida. And I got an associate's degree in landscape design.
Jedi. Wow, Jedi.
Like,
So you want to go hang out?
This is my thing. I have a huge garden in my backyard.
Oh my goodness.
So this is one of the ideas I've always had. So imagine like all the landscaping that we see in our city area and all the money that the city spends on all that landscaping. What if we turn that into edible landscaping, apples, all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then you wouldn't have to feed the homeless.
So there are some options with that's being done in other cities, particularly in like Austin and Houston. They're doing some things. Dallas is kind of coming up on the back end of the food.
We're always so
community, like the community-based food solution. We're starting to get there though, and policies have been changed and people are really working hard, so I'm not gonna poo-poo on their efforts.
Right.
And there was even a plan, I don't know if the Momentum plan still exists, but the city of Dallas had a deal where you could take over a median. So you could agree that this is going to be your lot. It was like a median or easement, and we talked about what it would look like for community members to take those spaces and grow. The bigger concern about growing in Dallas is our soil is polluted.
Yeah.
And particularly in South Dallas, the soil isn't just polluted with lead, or West Dallas, the soil
It's all rocky.
It's drugs.
Yeah.
It's soil has been tested and it's got barbiturates and heroin in it, like in opiates.
Here's the thing.
That is crazy.
That one of the things that technology is able to do.
Kids can't play with.
Like here in downtown Dallas, we could have like these solar panel buildings where they pipe down. They have these carbon fiber tubes that they take the sun from the top of the buildings and they pipe them down all the way down to the basement and start these floral. They're doing it in New York City right now, where they're like taking this light and they're just piping it all the way down, and they're funding these subterranean like farms.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's the kind of stuff like Dallas is the number 5 in the market. We got to get on that.
Indoor farming is here. Don't be fooled. It's here. There are a lot of corporations that are purchasing up warehouses all over the city.
Rooftop farming.
Rooftop farming that's going on in Dallas. And we have beehives. So my friends Brandon and Susan Pollard with the Texas Honeybee Guild, most of their honey comes from downtown Dallas that's on the roofs.
Hey, and support farmers market, right?
Yes. Well,
gotta love that.
Well, it depends because like some of that stuff is super commercial.
Well, let's not go there.
Yeah.
Let's not go there. But it was really.
Well, hold on. So I hadn't been there in a minute, but back in the day, farmers market used to be.
It's not the same. So it recently just opened it back up to where you don't have to be a local farmer to sell at the farmers market.
Right.
You can be a distributor. So it was that when they reopened,
it's heavy commercialized.
I hadn't been there in like 3-4 years.
There were people who fought to keep the farmers market local and to make sure that the
and
growers
the vendors,
there.
the number of vendors is so small now. It's sad.
Yeah.
It used to be just.
And Ann Nixon, I keep seeing your message about Bonton, and I'm gonna have to talk to you about that off camera because I don't want them to shut down the 30 podcast.
Tell them how they can get in contact with you or keep up with the things that you have
so
going
you can
on.
follow me on Facebook at Nella Roots Gardening. You can also try and follow me at Clarice Chris, but I don't often check my friend requests because it just is too real in these streets these
Nella,
days.
so that's Nella.
Nella Roots Gardening, and then on Instagram it's at Nella Roots. So you can follow me there. Oh, because I didn't even talk about the food giveaway. Dang, y'all. On the second Saturday of every month, I give away food with my friend Danae and the Harvest Project Rescue Group. We give away food at Warren United Methodist Church on the corner of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Free food that was going to be thrown away.
Can we come help?
Oh, we always need help. Come on, let me tell you about these pallets of vegetables. I'll be outside unloading, and I haven't been here the last couple of months because I've been traveling for work. So. Trying to find consistent volunteers to go help out with that. It was kind of sad the last one because I thought I was gonna have to really just say we can't do it anymore.
Hey, can I say Dallas on Air will absolutely help you, and not only that, but we will donate a bunch of toys. Okay. So, like, if parents want to bring their kids out,
food and they can get
we can get some toys, and we'll have Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
We will have Spider-Man
everywhere.
Well, we're gonna be ready for that second Saturday.
Let's make it happen.
Oh no, we can make that happen.
And
It's gonna be July 13th at Warren United Methodist
I don't want
Church.
to hijack the show, but did you say something about Bonton? Because I live in Parkdale.
No, we can't talk about that.
No.
We'll
I
talk
will
about it
just-
afterwards.
Okay, we'll talk about it after the show because I live in Parkdale, which is the neighborhood next.
So
to
this
that.
is what I can say
And
about
I wanna
Bonton.
help.
It was a very eye-opening situation to realize that you can go and take land and turn it into something beautiful in the community, and it can become something bigger than what you think and believe. I do know that Bonton has made great strides over the last 2 years to be more community involved, and I hope to see them continue. I am not going to ever take away from
Love
the
that.
jobs that they have created in that community, but the things that I've said to them, to their faces, so we can all be clear, is that I want to see them more involved and engaged in the community, and that there's no reason for this farm to be in South Dallas and not take food stamps or take WIC.
Right.
Like these are just basic things that I would like to see. It doesn't take away from them. The kids get to go play with goats and all that kind of stuff. So it's beautiful, and I'm not going to say don't support it, but I will also say there are black farmers in Dallas who are growing and selling at markets every week. Shout out to the Paul Quinn Farmers Market. We
They are doing hey, we'll do a live event from there. Let me know.
Yes,
So,
Thursday nights, 3 to 7.
I wanted to show the pictures from my little play that I had.
Oh yeah, Miko was in the play. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and give you guys a 30-something podcast
yeah,
shirt. We give
so
these
much,
shirts
Larry.
out, but it always happens off of there. So we want to give away a shirt. So Miss Clarice, our guest, and also to our guest co-host. And we're gonna have Jonathan on again
because he didn't get to
he didn't get to say too much.
And
but we're gonna get into the tea.
Can I just say it's like a high school reunion?
Definitely.
Sitting up here
Shout
right
out
now.
to Town
Shout out
View.
to
Shout out to
Town
Town
View.
pushing out all this greatness.
Yes, and Atwell.
Yes.
Skyline.
Yes.
Atwell
Ooh.
Arches.
Shout out to
Town
We
View.
just let Miko make it with her skyline.
So Miko, do your Miko with her play.
Yes, I had a really
so we
really
can talk about this.
You gonna turn the we just gonna run through them real quick. I had a video of Columbus Short. I found out he could sing over the weekend. I was Pooch Hall's girlfriend and sleeping with the enemy. It was a really really great experience. It was also I double booked myself, and it was also my baby's 12th birthday party. But shout out like she been doing all night. Shout out to Versteven Wolf Powell
Her boo thing.
for taking care of everything with the birthday party and everything. And I just had to come and show up and sing happy birthday and then go back and be on stage. Really, really
ain't
appreciate
nothing
you.
like
Me and the
having a good
kids. Me and the
partner.
kids love you. Oh, and then we went out that night to the W
Look
to
at
the Gemini ball. It was a blast.
Is that
I'm telling you,
Pooch Hall?
Dallas was. Yep, that was Pooch.
What is this?
This is Columbus Short. He's singing the "Sleeping with the Enemy" song. They gonna release it. They gonna release the album "Sleeping with the Sleeping with the Enemy" album.
That play was
I mean,
so
that is a
funny,
very
y'all.
accurate title for a play that he's
Bounce
appearing
back.
in.
Right, that's what you think. He spoke about retribution.
Nick said he
He
gonna get
spoke
some
and it
people to
changed
come
my
out there and
perspective on
volunteer
him.
and
You know,
play.
I need to hear this downplay.
talked about-
Download.
Nick
Can
talked
you
about
show the
everybody
cake
come
in
volunteer?
my-
Help you volunteer.
He talked about
Yes, look, I'm gonna tell y'all now. Volunteer comes. I would respond to
That's
your
my
DM
baby.
request
Shout
if
out
it's
to
about
Bless.
volunteering.
Go to gang. Go to
Oh,
gang.
happy
gang.
birthday, Bless.
Happy birthday, Bliss. Your mommy loves you.
The Golden Game.
Golden gang, gay gang.
Go gang.
You can tell he's playing that.
I got on gold chains and everything.
Gold chains
I
and a
love
gold
them. That's
nugget
my
cake.
crew. I'm the golden mom.
Well, thank everybody for tuning.
Wait, no. There's not another video, but I have one other. You can cut the video. I have a picture. We have a guest that watches us all the time.
Who?
He's Superman.
Oh,
Marcus
Lord.
Superman. He just got married this weekend.
He did. That
so
boy is
shout
a-
out to
he's-
the Supermans. I have a picture.
I saw him
because
on
he's
Facebook.
such
They
a
got married.
loyal
He is.
watcher.
Congratulations,
He
Marcus.
ain't even watching right now. Where you at, Marcus?
Well, he gonna see it later.
He is.
Honeymoon.
And then
Congratulations.
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 Is there anything
He loves
else
to
that
troll
we?
us.
Is there
Thank you guys
anything
for
else that we?
tuning in.
Yes,
No,
congratulations.
there he is.
Hope
All
you all
right.
have a lifetime of love.
Well, thank you guys
Yes.
for tuning in to.
Thank y'all for
staying with us so long.
Yes, thank you for all of that good information.
And y'all need to
I'll
get
have
out
it
here
one
and
time.
volunteer and put your hands in the soil soil and connect to the earth and connect
And
to
to your
God
people
and
and
the
to
sun.
yes.
And ladies, if you need some help, call me. I do consultations at the house.
I'm gonna hire you.
Blessing.
As soon as I get a plot of land, I'm gonna hire you.
I do landscaping consultations as well as herbal remedy consults. So I know we as black women be having some problems down there. So let's just talk about it.
And alkaline water go a long way.
I'm not gonna call about that, but I'm gonna call about something else.
We gonna Wakanda for flight is booked.